Welcome to There's a Musical for That.
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 And if you like cellar dwellers
And trapdoor lovers.
there's a musical for that.
And if you like mermaids, crabs, and guppies, fly. There's a musical for that.
If you like fan of the opera fan fiction, there's a musical for that.
If you like falling in love and broken hearts, and establishing your dreams and then having them dashed, and duels, there's a musical for that.
And it's called Wicked.
And it's called Little Mermaid Live.
It's called Hamilton.
And it's called Dogfight.
And it's called Fan of the Opera 2, Love Never Died.
Welcome to There's a Musical for That.
Welcome to There's a Musical for That with Tiffany and Kayla. I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Kayla.
And if you like talking animals, there's a musical for that. And it's called
Lion King on Broadway. I don't know what year. We saw it this year, 2017.
Yes.
I don't know when. It came out in 1997.
I don't know. But before we get into that, we'd like to introduce our two special guests.
Returning from last episode, Phantom of the Opera, we have Michelle.
Hi.
And first time ever, we have Frankie.
Hi!
Such dainty guests we have. So we all saw The Lion King at the Fox Theater in St. Louis on different days, but we're all coming together now.
Kayla and I saw it on the same day.
That's very true. We can't be separated.
We are the same person.
We pretty much are. We're conjoined twins. So we're all just coming together to talk about our different experiences because I'm pretty sure we had different casts some of the days, and we all had different seats. So who wants to start?
It was amazing.
Well, Frankie had the best seats and the best experience, so I think he should start off in telling us what his experience from the rich area was like.
Sure. I think that
Where did you sit?
we sat in orchestra row A, so center, front and center. Like the only thing that was in front of us was the orchestra in the pit. So I took my daughter and my best friend with me. So I think that the opening of the show is ridiculous. Like if you miss the opening, I think you miss a lot of what the grandiose parts of the show are. And the puppeteering is huge. So from those seats, I always like sitting actually a little bit more backward, but I didn't realize what I bought when I bought them. I bought them right before Christmas. I saw it had come, and I always, when I do musicals, I always go to the last show. I always love Ovation. It's where all the standing ovations come in. People put on their best performances, in my opinion, because they're going to blow out the city.
I was at that show on the Sunday in the evening.
Yes.
Hey, I was there
on
on Saturday. I was just way up in the balcony.
Yeah. But
looking
see,
down
my
at
daughter
you.
wants to sit up there. So I want to sit up there. I'm
Yeah,
like,
she
all
wants to be
right.
high.
Yeah,
Yeah, but she doesn't
yeah.
understand. That
I wanna
they
go to the
become
little
tiny
binocular
people.
But yeah, I thought it was fast. It was the first time I had gone to Lion King, and I'm a huge Disney freak. Done Beauty and the Beast a bunch of times, but I think Lion King was something special, especially if you kind of grew up with it. And I'm more of an 80s kid than a 90s kid, but I do remember the film being very successful animation.
Yeah.
And then,
I definitely grew up in the 90s with The Lion King.
I saw it in theaters.
Oh, yeah.
I think I was like 4.
Definitely had Nala pajamas. Was Nala for Halloween.
Oh.
My best friend had a dog she named Nala. Like, Lion King was a big deal for people of my
Wow.
age.
Yes.
that's huge.
It was a very big deal. Had a board game, had the video game. There was a Sega game. Yeah. Original Sega.
I was a Pocahontas
you
person,
know.
so I had all the Pocahontas merch. But I think I had Lion King slippers, but
Disney's
I had
phenomenal
Lion King
merchandise.
slippers,
That's where they make all their
it's
money.
very true.
Very, very
One
true.
of my earliest memories is coloring in a Lion King coloring book.
Big deal.
It's
Lion
touched,
King.
it's touched all of our lives.
It's touched my daughter's life, right? At 5
Yeah.
years old, I think that she really gravitated toward animals based on that film, and also the life and death aspect of the film.
Yeah.
My daughter had to deal with a death very early in her life. You know, she was 4 when she lost her puppy. You know, and so I think movies like The Lion King, Charlotte's Web were things that we used to kind of understand the circle of life. So I think that is what makes that film so great. To see it on stage and when they do that song is huge. So.
Yeah. So I took my boyfriend to this, and it just happened. So we bought the tickets at Christmas, and it just happened that the week preceding, he super suddenly lost his uncle in the floods around Missouri. He was on a camping trip and got lost in the water as it rose too quickly. And it just he still wanted to go and all. I don't know if he appreciated me sharing the story. You guys don't know him.
I'm
Nobody
sure he doesn't
knows
listen
him.
to this podcast.
He also does not listen to this podcast. But he's really missing out on that. But yeah, he said it was incredible timing because it was a really big loss for him. But it was the whole part when Mufasa is talking about we all become the grass and then the antelope eat the grass, and it's just of course sitting there crying. But we were all crying. It was a very touching moment in the show for everybody. But he was it really drove it home for him, and kind of in a way it was a little bit of cathartic healing, because they talk about death in such a positive, progressive manner instead of the loss of a person. It's the becoming of another state.
Yeah, it's not final and goodbye. It's just different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he actually really, really liked it, even though it was really, really sad and reminding. And my God, could Mufasa lay on the stage longer when he died?
Yeah.
That was please let this scene end. Oh, but they did a really good job at the stampede.
It's true.
One of the coolest parts was the stampede.
Yeah.
It's almost like 4D. You know, they put the screen, they put the puppets, really feels like you're in it, and the music I think was just spot on. I mean, those guys get hidden down there. You know, we were able to kind of get up and look down, and my daughter made friends with everybody down there, and it was pretty cool. But the conductors and I mean, it's the music really drives it, and I don't think a lot of people know that it's live. Yeah, I think it's funny.
Oh, the orchestra's playing the music along because they're so flawless.
And they really are. They are on point, and they know they make mistakes, but we don't know that they're making mistakes.
We don't catch it.
Right, exactly.
That oboe was off.
Right.
Get your tempo.
Yeah, because it just all works.
What are you doing with that clarinet? It's not the right note.
I was staring at the percussionist. I used to do percussion, so I'm always staring at the percussionist, being oh, could that have been me if I didn't give up on it? But he was I didn't catch him when he was drumming. Unfortunately, I was just staring at him the rest of the show, are you gonna do something? And he was done. He did some wind chimes, and he walked
There
off.
were two on both sides.
Yeah, well, I was
Are those
looking at the one
bongos
closer on our
that
side.
they were standing by? They're the tall drums.
No,
the guys on the
I
other side
don't
of the
think they're
stage.
called bongo. Are they?
Bongos are the little ones.
Yeah, those are the more Caribbean.
Is it a conga? A conga drum, I think.
I don't know. You tell us, percussion lady.
I think it's a conga drum. And I say this because Trey Songz had a song where he said, "I'm going to beat your body like a Congo girl." And somebody made fun of him and said the drum is not a Congo, it's a conga. So anywho.
Ooh,
That's it.
feminine approach to it, Congo. But those drums are heavy as all hell. They're solid wood, and I saw them moving it when we left. We went stage right, and you can do this at any Disney performance. I don't know if you can do it for other performances, but if you go to where I was sitting in the front and go all the way out that right, you'll go right to stage.
Oh, okay.
So all the actors will come out eventually, and they'll take pictures and sign autographs and stuff for Disney. I'm going to make that a point on your podcast.
Do you have to have children?
No.
Okay.
They are Disney employees. They're Disney contractors. They're subcontractors. So they have to keep
They have
the
to talk
Disney.
to the peoples.
They really do. They really are not allowed to be rude or anything like that. They're under a Disney contract. And I don't think that, in general, I mean, we met a couple people from Phantom that, the New York shows. I mean, whatever. It's New York. Everybody acts that way. But these guys were really wanting it. And I have a friend that was actually in the show. He played one of the hyenas.
Oh, which one?
The one that talked. The male performer that talked.
Okay,
Oh, really?
so not Shinzi.
Not
Shinzi
Shinzi.
and Ed are the ones I know, and that's the one I don't know.
Right. His name is Keith Bennett.
Okay.
And we met at a restaurant that I frequent right by my block in Fox Park. And he came in, and I'm like, "Man, you from New York?" And he's like, "I am." And I'm like, "Can we just tell?" And we had a great conversation, and then the next night he came in, and I'm like, hey, so how long are you in town for? He's like, well, as long as the show I'm in is. I'm like, what show are you in? He's like, I'm in The Lion King. And I'm like, you kidding me? I'm coming to see you guys on Sunday. And he's like, well, you need to come to the stage, and I'll get everybody to come out.
Oh, wow.
So they took pictures with us and my
That's
daughter,
cool.
and very cool. And he was
Are
just
you
a
from New
good
York?
dude. Huh?
Are you from New York?
I'm from Miami.
Oh, it's like, how did you bond with him so quickly?
I
Dade
think
County.
it's Dade County. It's just you have a lot of New Yorkers there, and I frequent New York. I used to go twice a year to do Broadway musicals there, and especially a lot of stuff off Broadway. My cousin is a screenwriter and a playwright. He's done a couple things way off Broadway, but really, really touching and good stuff. And then I'm in the film business, so you have a bunch of guys that do it. And I always appreciate the original arts. And I think that that's what makes these musicals so great, is that you get back to the real life theater of it all,
Yeah.
which I love.
And nothing beats seeing something in person, even if it's like a concert or some. It's just like being there because they're doing it and you're seeing it. It's like right when they're doing it. It's I don't know. It's moving, especially with Hamilton. You know, and they'd say that the one line like, "You're here with us in New York City," and it's like I really am here. You're in New York City. Like this is real life.
Well, the thing with Hamilton is it doesn't stop. Like, it doesn't stop. The
No.
whole thing is singing. Like, that, for me, is like, wow, what an achievement. And I'm blown away. I have not seen it. The tickets are sold out for like 3 years.
Yeah.
But I have. I know. I don't care if I sit in the trash can outside, you know, with headphones on. I want to see that, like, more than anything. I just heard, and not because of the president thing, just because, like, this show is, like, really well done. Like,
Cut and paste that into your other podcast.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Hamilton, I think, is just, I have all the soundtracks, and you haven't seen it. It's kind of weird, but my favorite will always be Les Mis, of course.
Les Mis is good. It's a good one. I said it's a good one. I'm whispering again. Sorry, everyone who's listening.
I
Comment,
can't even
like-
hear you in real life.
No one writes to us. My siblings won't even write to us, and they get on the show.
They text you.
Yeah.
Alright, so Kayla and I also saw it in the balcony, but closer towards the
We're in the
front
middle.
of the balcony.
Front, back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Front back.
I was like mid balcony where they have that aisle. I was in the front row up to the aisle, and then there's like another part of the balcony. And
So
then,
we were, I think, in that front.
The other-
yeah,
yeah,
we were in the
we're in the
front
front part.
balcony.
So lower
Nice.
balcony, yeah.
One of the things I really appreciated about The Lion King, because I've sat in the balcony a couple other times, that when they do audience interaction stuff, you're just kind of up there and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, that looks like fun down there. But they actually came up and they were up in the balcony area
Yeah.
too. So I've not been to a show that's made that extra effort yet.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Well, when we saw Motown, they were like, "Oh, who wants to come down and sing with me?" And somebody up like waved their hand. She's like, "Oh, you're too far away. Who- down here, who wants to come?"
Yeah, she called it out, right?
Yeah, she was like, "Oh no."
oh no! Don't volunteer. Cheap seats.
And I want to second the Circle of Life thing because that was like I was blown away. Like I almost cried. It was just so like
It was everywhere.
I was like, this is the pinnacle of human achievement. Like I was so just blown away. And then like the elephant came out with the little baby elephant. And I was like,
That was
Yeah.
this is so good. And the whole I mean everything was good, but that was the best part for me was
You got to see all the animal.
and I was just so shocked because like I know that they come out, but it was just like shocking. And I was like, I'm seeing this. It's happening.
Well, if you want Sunday night, I think everybody got the same scar. I think he was incredible.
Okay.
I think he was my favorite, and I think older Simba was my favorite as well. I think those two really.
Oh, he definitely was.
Yeah.
Sure.
But like that's the one con that I would say that there is no epic moments. Like in
Yeah.
Les Mis, you have Jean Valjean, you have these moments where it's just like you're gonna get a round of applause. But Lion King doesn't really allow for the audience to stop and clap. The Simba song that he did was very well done, but it goes right into the next part. So you're like, we shouldn't clap because Rafiki's talking again, you know? And it's
Right.
like you and it's the one thing that I took away from it, seeing it for the first time and always wanting those moments, like to, because these guys deserve it. And he's like in the back there, and I'm like, man, no one's clapping. It was good. John, you guys thumb up, like I want to clap, but I don't know what to do right now.
But I feel like that it lends itself because it's a kids show. So was your daughter like engaged the whole time? Because you wanted to bring your niece, and you felt like she was just too young to pay attention. But I wonder if kids would have paid attention because it was so like let's keep it going, let's keep it going.
My daughter's different. She was very engaged the whole thing. I think that there were parts that scared her. I mean, my daughter hates skeletons. She hates bones.
Oh, well, there's a lot of that going on.
You know, and I think that she had not met Keith till after the show. And I think if she had met him prior to the show in his makeup, I think that they would have. They can't come out in costume. They have to be out of costume. It's the same rules as the Disney parks.
Okay.
Because I was like, when we go backstage, like, well, it's the last show, and if you saw them break down, they break down so fast. It's actually like, it's an incredible thing to watch. Because eventually they'll tell you to move, but if you sit up front and you just wait for everything to break down, it's insane how fast they move. Like, because they had to go to, they were going to Tulsa next.
Oh wow.
Like, they were literally leaving that night.
Oh wow.
Some were flying, some were driving. So I had dinner with Keith that night at Sanctuary. He stopped in for a second, but they were telling me how it was just amazing, the compactness of the show. It's like, we're done, get it all done.
They have almost no set, which is
Really, yeah, it's
just the
lighting.
costumes and lighting.
Yeah, and the lighting is literally on a USB drive. They plug it in and they hit it in the light board, and they just, it's very, very cool technology.
Yeah. I was very impressed with the multimedia nature of it all, like the projections, and they had like, some people had like just, you know, the birds on the sticks swinging them around, and the one part they had the watering hole.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is that sheet? I was like, what is that, a sheet sitting on there? And then it slowly started. They started pulling it through a hole, so it's very practical. It wasn't like
That's smart.
anything
Oh my
crazy.
gosh, the grasslands. I meant to
I
say
really
that
like that
because the grasslands were actually people in costumes with like skirts and like a headdress kind of platform thing, and they just like came out on stage and like twirled themselves slowly, which made the grass move, and then the Simba and Mufasa characters could just like run amongst them and
I
be
liked,
running through the plains.
I liked how they did like
crazy.
the foreground background of like, first they had Simba and Mufasa just like little tiny on sticks running through, and then the actual big people came through, so you had a sense of like time and movement, even though it wasn't actually moving anywhere.
Yeah, but no traditional set pretty much at all about like, oh, we need to like fake some grass on the ground.
It's like, no, let's have some people.
You guys would enjoy the Nemo show in.
Like Finding Nemo?
Nemo's
Yeah, there's
show?
a Finding Nemo show in Animal Kingdom, and it's done puppeteering just like the animal.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
really cool.
it's a 1 hour show too. It's segmented, musical. The guy's actually saying, it's all right in front of you live. It's very, very cool.
Where's this at?
This is Animal Kingdom
Where's that?
in Orlando, Florida.
I love that.
And they also have Celebration of the Lion King, where a lot of that cast comes from. They try out for the big one, and some of them get it. I believe Keith worked down there for a little while. He was working in the Nemo show. And it's all
like
puppeteering.
That's really cool.
Timon and Pumbaa were really good too.
Timon was hilarious.
I saw in the program, like the guy who did Pumbaa has been doing Pumbaa for like years and has
I
done
love
like
his costume.
200 Pumbaa performances.
Wow.
He's just been doing it.
He kind
You
of
can
looks like
tell.
Pumbaa too. So.
Yeah, I think he's
the
becoming the
character.
character. Yeah, I think he's just slowly morphing into Pumbaa. He's too in touch with that suit, but he had done like so many performances. I think he was the only one who has consistently done it so many times out of that cast.
Yeah.
What was your guys' favorite costume? I feel like we have to get that in there.
Oh man.
Why don't you start?
So my favorite isn't one of the main ones, just because of the moment when the elephants walked in, and the big elephant, and the little girl who played Little Nala walked in an elephant costume, and she was holding them on the elephant's tail. That was adorable.
Yep, that was my favorite too. That's the one that almost sent me over the edge. I'm like, it's the circle of life. You have a baby. Oh, it's gonna die someday.
Mine was the zebras. I was like, you guys look legit. I don't know if you guys remember, because they didn't have any major part, but like the zebra body was like hanging off the back, and their legs were the zebra's front legs, and they were completely painted. And then their torso was the neck, and the head came up over their face. So like as they're like running around, it looks like freaking zebras running across the stage, especially if you sit up in the cheap seats. Yep. So I was like, there's live zebras on the stage. That was convincing.
I don't think there is cheap tickets in the Fox though.
Well,
you're still paying at least $100. Right?
Yeah,
relative. Yeah.
Wanted to add, I forgot about the giraffes, which were
That was cool.
super cool, walking around on stilts.
Yeah.
Yeah, hand stilts and feet stilts.
Yes.
And the leopard lady who had the little thing on her head that was moving cheetah, sorry, that was moving the cheetah's head. So you have to have the right physicality for that, because she was moving very
She was a
animalistic.
Yeah.
It was great.
She's a cheetah.
They know what they're doing.
I really love Scar. I
Yeah.
love the way they did his costuming, and we met him after, and he looked nothing like what he was on stage.
Because isn't he on like Sleepy Hollow or something? Because I was
Yeah.
like in intermission, I was googling people, and he's like on Sleepy Hollow. I'm like, how are you
Yeah,
here?
he's a magnificent actor
Yeah.
and
He was
very friendly.
really
I believe he had an English accent. And I said, you just killed it with like.
He's good.
No, he doesn't have an English accent. I think he was.
Scar
He did
did.
a
Maybe-
Scar, didn't he?
Yeah.
Which is
he
funny
did
'cause
Scar.
Just make him evil.
Well, he did Jeremy
Evil
Irons.
people are
Right?
naturally
Evil African animal is
But
British.
it's just he did a really good job of over enunciating things, and I think that villains need that on musicals and
Yeah, on the stage.
yeah, you definitely. I always look at that as well. I've really never seen a bad performance. I really haven't. I was thinking about that before when I was driving over here. I was like, have I ever seen like a bad performance of someone? And I really haven't. When I saw Beauty and the Beast, Belle was Toni Braxton.
Where, you saw that in New York?
Yeah, I mean, that was crazy. Like,
Yeah.
it was just crazy. Like, I didn't even know that was like. She had a backup, of course, but then I would see that again. And then Phantom, of course, is my favorite. I think everybody goes back to Andrew Lloyd Webber at some point.
Fuck yeah, that's my favorite too.
Yeah.
Pardon my language.
Yeah.
Cut that.
Yeah, and then Stephen Sondheim, of course. I grew up with that. My mother was into the musical scene. Like,
So that's why you're into it, and
oh
now
my
your
God,
daughter's into
I
it.
wanted to be on Broadway, and I
Me
tried
too.
out many times.
I didn't try out.
Yeah, I just don't.
Just dreamed.
Yeah.
That's it. My sisters still to this day make fun of me and call me Child Wonder because
Child wonder.
I wanted to
Get that
be
tattoo.
the youngest person to win a Tony Award, and I was like 3 years old, and they just made fun of me relentlessly because I'd be practicing my moves, and like I'd put on my church shoes and practice my tapping. I'm like, I'm gonna get my tapping in, and I would practice, and they were just like, yeah, whatever, Child Wonder, get out of my face, and they still call me that to this day. But no, I never tried out for it. I didn't want to come back home from New York when we went to see Hamilton. I was like, I can't come back.
It's my
I
place.
mean, that's
I
the
live
thing.
here
My
now.
home now.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
I live in the Richard Rogers. Sorry.
You can catch a show every night in New York. That's the thing that I
I'm
love
so
about
jealous.
it. But the thing about New York is like they just price everybody out, you know, and
Yeah.
it's just.
You gotta be rich. Or have a very, very
Or
good
live with
job.
lots of rats and such.
It's true.
I don't want to live with
Get yourself a
rats
nice,
and such.
nice box.
Do you want to talk to the people? I'm afraid that they're going to think you're not here anymore.
I talked about the costumes.
Okay.
Tiffany is still here.
I am
Please.
still.
I'm staring at her and she's playing.
She was
with fall
doing
leaves.
work up until like the 30 seconds before we started.
She's
this,
decorating
so.
for November here for some reason.
I have
You gotta look
a
ahead.
couple of the seasons.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow, HR is always so prepared.
Per people services.
Oh yeah, sorry. People, not resources.
If anyone was not aware who was listening, my profession is
People's services.
formerly known as human resources.
People are resources.
They do the same thing.
Personnel management.
If you're in this office and you were called into it.
Yeah, we're taping this in the HR office, FYI.
Yeah. Just always intimidating.
Yes, I'm sitting behind my work desk, which is why my mind is still.
Right, everything's
Aw.
locked.
Nobody listens to this.
Did you guys have the same Rafiki that we did? Because that was by far
I have no
the
clue, but he was good.
coolest lady.
Oh, you had
Rafiki. I was thinking of Rowan Atkinson played him the bird.
Yeah, Madden Zog. She was pretty fantastic.
Oh, Yazoo.
Yeah.
Did you get Frozen? When
What?
he sang
Yes.
Frozen.
Oh yeah.
That was
yeah.
hilarious.
Oh, yes.
That was really, really funny.
They said they had been doing that for a while. You know,
Yeah, I figured
Oh.
they had been.
he was really good too.
That he had to have a lot of energy for all that screaming and
God.
running and jumping, and that
Yeah.
just looks tiring.
Their lungs are ridiculous. Those guys. I mean,
Yeah.
the breathing exercises. I mean, have to be out of this world. I mean,
And then the part where he like was going through his little acid trip and like took the actual bird puppet and like took it away from himself, and then he was running around, and
Yeah.
then Simba had the bird puppet, and I was like, I'm feeling real weird right now.
there was definitely some sassy stuff dropped.
Existential.
There was some.
Yeah.
There were some sassy, interesting jokes made. I was like, wow, that was Timon especially was making some. I was like, child audience. That's
Oh,
weird.
see, I wasn't catching anything. I guess I was using my child
I
mind.
guess I was in the child part of the audience
Yeah.
because I don't remember his dirty jokes.
I
He
don't
said
either.
something and I forgot what it was.
Can we talk about how weird the hyena sexy dance moves? Like
When
what
they
was
came
that?
out with
when it
their-
was like the whistles and
So
the,
they were like
I
Magic
thought it was
Mike.
Rent. I was like, what is
You
this?
thought it was what?
I thought it was Rent.
No, it was like let's take a break for a little nightclub scene.
And again, with me staring off to the side, staring at the percussionist, I saw that these guys are standing off to the side, like with the little hyena suits down, and their chests were bare. And I'm like, are you supposed to be visible right now? Like, go back behind the stage. What are you doing? And then more started showing up, and I was like, this is a strip show. This is a stripper show.
With the freaking whistles and the dancing.
And their greased up chests, and they're like Timberlands on. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it got like really hip hop real quick.
It was very strange.
Yeah,
I thought it
in
was
quotes,
Magic Mike.
though, like
Right.
what?
Are we filming a Jay-Z video here? What's going
Chippendales.
on?
I was very confused by that.
Yeah, that was a totally unnecessary scene.
My best friend was
Saturday.
loving it. I mean, she was all like drooling and stuff.
I thought it was
I mean, they
hilarious
were
from the
fabulous
Magic
shape,
Mike
but, like,
standpoint. Because I'm
random.
like, ooh, chests. Look at all them chesticles. But outside of that, I was just like, this is very strange. Why are you
Completely
greased up and
unnecessary.
dancing? What's happening here in your boots?
Yeah.
Yeah, that part was weird, and kinda, I would cut that from the show if I needed to edit
Yeah.
some time out. It's just not.
It was just
the vibe
bizarre.
is totally different. The rest of it has like a lot of like calls, at least from my Midwestern perspective, to like traditional African music, and that one was like, I don't know where you're coming from.
Yeah, this is what America does with African
Shut
music.
it
It's like, what is this?
Yeah, but I think that might be a subset of people trying to, in the 90s, trying to
cool.
make things cool.
With
And
some
maybe in the 2000s, because
electric
Cats...
guitars.
Cats did a revival recently where Rum Tum Tugger now has a rap and wears a gold chain, like a backwards cap and
I hope
such.
they cut that real quick.
They got horrible backlash, and I did tweet at them because they're bringing it to the U.S. and I said,
Please leave the gold chain.
I said, please don't bring the rap. And they said, oh, we cut that out. And I said, oh, thank you so much. But I think it's people trying to update a show by thinking, let's just add hip hop gangsta style.
I mean, that was the controversy too with Phantom of the Opera. They add that new song when they did the motion picture, and now they
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
now put it into
The show.
trying to put it into the new show. And
What
it's like,
song is that in the movie?
There's
I
one.
think
I thought you
Andrew,
guys talked about
want
it.
to say that
I don't remember
it
what
is
it
an
was.
Andrew Lloyd Webber song. It was original. I mean, he did write it.
Yeah, but
But
he
it's
doesn't make
like-
good choices as we
He
can.
didn't write like a rap though.
No, it wasn't a rap.
No,
it's just an
Or
additional song.
updated, modern.
He just did some additional song.
Yeah.
Was it the wishing you were somehow?
No,
here?
that's always been there.
I'm pretty sure you
Who
guys
was it?
talked about it. I'll have to listen to that episode again.
I thought we mentioned in there that there was a song in the musical, like stage show,
Oh,
that,
that
wasn't in the
wasn't-
movie
that-
about a library or something.
I
which
think that's
can't
what I'm thinking.
remember.
Can't remember that.
But we couldn't remember it at that time
Whatever.
either. But yeah, I don't remember anything in the movie that sounded out of place with the
What you know
rest
from
of
the
it.
show.
Yeah,
But then
the
it could have
closing
been-
song, the Mini Driver like subtitles or credits song was in the movie. That's not in the
Yeah,
musical,
I don't
but
count
that's
the
not
credits.
right.
No,
So
there was a credit song. But you guys could have been seeing the version that Frankie's talking about after they already put the song in.
Totally.
You could have
yeah,
seen
if
the
they shoved
stage.
it in. Yeah, I can't remember.
I mean,
seeing-
Phantom comes here 1 week in a year, I think.
Really? I don't
or
know.
maybe
I
it's
saw
Beauty
it
and
was
the Beast.
Kid, which would have been before then.
I think it's Beauty and the Beast that comes 1 week in a year.
Don't remember.
I think that's coming soon. Do you know?
Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah.
Usually comes around Christmas.
Oh, I maybe that was last year I saw it. And I was
I
like, we
miss
should go
that
for
every
Tiffany's
year.
birthday.
Uh,
I like that you brought notes. Thank you for being
I
the
did bring
professional
notes.
person in this
yeah.
in this
also,
outfit.
like, my favorite memories from the show,
Oh,
the
wow.
lionesses hunting was beyond cool.
Yes. And the Linus's tears. I like that how they came out of
Are
the
you
masks.
kidding? That was creepy and weird
I
as
liked
all
it.
get out. Like,
I thought
why
it was
would they
cool.
do that? It was
They
this
were
random
sad.
like anime part of a normal musical. Where they're running around.
It was super
That is
kawaii.
what it
desu.
Kawaii.
Kawaii desu.
I'm crying now.
I was very shocked. I was like, oh, look at that! They put some ribbons in their
It
faces.
terrified me that they pulled out their eyeballs and threw them on the stage, and they were a little ribbon.
Yeah, my daughter was like, "What happened there?" I said, "I don't know. Let's forget it."
Let's forget it, except they
keep
kept
that
them.
memory.
It was really cool when Sarabi was arguing with Scar, and
she
she
pulled her
runs up
tears
and
off.
she's like, "No more sorrow. I am now ready to live."
Yeah.
More eyeballs on the floor. Right?
More eyeballs,
Right.
but the end of your eyeballs.
But it helped distinguish her from the rest of them because she was the one who still had her little tears hanging out of her face.
I mean, the stage wasn't short-sighted. Just saying.
And in the beginning of ours, when Sarabi's first lines, her microphone was not on.
yeah, that I do remember that. That was
I
kind
was
of
like,
a bummer.
Oh, boy.
that sucks.
There wasn't much to it. she was like, "Go play with Nala." if you
I've
want
seen
to."
the movie, so I
That's
just
obviously
assumed.
Right. You could
It's like, well, that sucks for you
Figure
because
it
they
out,
don't know
but-
on the stage. They hear themselves and they feel like I'm talking loud.
Does she not know? I
That's an
guess-
actor's. That's an actor's job, though.
Yeah, like I was
Do
just.
they have earpieces?
I'm sure they
Some of them do. Some of them have it. That's why.
I'm sure
And some of them are in their mask up top.
Right, I'm sure they knew somehow, but what
Something
is
was
her
wrong,
option? Like
right.
stop and walk off and go fix it? Like
Yeah.
Scream.
Ideally, it's like a little button she pushes. Power.
Hey. I would be like, hey, can you turn me on?
I-
Yeah.
I thought Nala in general, from child to adult, was badass.
Like her, yeah.
She was like, I'm busy, Simba. I have to go like kill some things with the ladies.
I liked the way she was talking. She's like,
Bye.
Simba, you can't just leave us in the Pride Land, Simba. I'm like, yes, you tell him. You are very princessly. You tell him.
Yeah, get your butt back there, king. But I'll do all the work, you know. Whatever. Lay there on Pride
She's
Rock.
our wild feminist friend. This is why we invite her around.
Well, some male lions don't actually do anything.
They don't do
They
anything.
just look pretty.
They do look real pretty.
That's it.
Yep.
Like
They-
get the
Simba
business done.
for like basically nothing. But you looked real pretty doing it.
I mean, they hunt, they breed, they have, they do everything. They care for the litter. The lions really do nothing. The only time a lion ever gets involved is when another alpha male tries to take
Yeah.
over the pride.
Yes.
So.
Scar.
And then they'll just kill their babies.
Case in point. The Lion
Yeah.
King.
You went and you played with your little buddies, and then Scar showed up, and you had to go take him out. No,
And I did like, we talked about it before we started recording, how they would put their masks down. They would like swivel their head to get their mask to come down over their face when they wanted to threaten somebody. I did like that.
That was really cool. It was very imposing. It's interesting that like Scar had like basically little Wolverine nails and to
didn't
fight
notice
with, and then Mufasa and Simba both used the double sword as their we're
weapon of
fighting now
choice.
image. It's just odd. I
The
expected
sword
them
was
all
weird.
to have
The swords were weird.
Yeah, why didn't they just all have the big nails?
I mean, I don't know.
I saw it as them trying to like make it like African people and also animals, but I did think it was weird. And I did think it was weird when they had the people come out in the like African clothes and sing a song.
I missed that part. I was slow at the intermission, and they made me stand outside.
Did you see the people swinging the
Yeah,
birds
well,
around?
I got to stand next to them because they were waiting to come in, and I was like, "You guys,
I actually
are
really-
You should have
costumes."
walked in with them.
They
I
would have loved it because
enjoyed-
they had the ushers.
No, I would have been just swing my arm like I'm in the group.
I'm in the group.
Leave me alone.
Can't you tell?
Yeah.
I got my
Look at my
costume.
sweater. Look at my cardigan. I'm in the group. But yeah, I just thought it was weird. They just had a weird like everybody is a people now, and we're gonna sing a people song, and then
That was
goodbye. It's
Yeah.
like oh, all right.
I didn't
They
really
needed to
mind
do
missing
something
that.
to I think awake the energy, and I think the color isn't.
Yeah. I liked it when they came out. If they just had come out and like swung the things and then like went back, I thought that would have been fine. But I'm like,
Look at
you're
the
taking
shiny object.
you're taking the realism out because are people in the jungle now? That's what I was thinking. And then I was like, well, they're gonna get eaten by a
Reintroducing
lion, and it's just
Yeah.
doesn't work that way.
No, I didn't really mind missing that part, but the ladies with birds were real cool. Oliver.
They're smiling.
Mm-hmm. They were super friendly.
It was long. I would give it that for a 5-year-old. If you're thinking about, my daughter is, like I said, very exceptional. She likes live theater. She likes animals. So this was good for her. I don't know that I would have taken her to anything else. I really like Les Mis is something that I have to wait on for her. But I
Oh,
do
yeah.
play the soundtrack in the car a lot.
So she'll know the songs.
Right.
Mm.
That's how my mom.
But it's a long time
Did it
to
with
sit
me.
for a kid.
It is. It's a very long performance.
You're taking
Yeah,
her
you
to
gotta
see Little
Cut
Mermaid
out
too,
the
right?
sexy hyenas
Yes.
and then maybe some other things.
It's just a weird situation. Michelle, are you seeing Little Mermaid also?
No.
At the Muni?
No. Oh, yeah, no. I replied to that. I'm down to see it. I forgot it was at the Muni.
Did you guys this is gonna be hot. Did you guys get access to Clementines? Did you see that?
What?
No,
Clementine's
the ice cream. bars?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I saw people walking around with them.
They sidebarred right where they wheeled all these carts in from Clementines, and they had all these different flavors.
The ice cream vendors who were walking
Yeah,
around.
and
at
they did like
intermission.
unique flavors for the show.
There
It
was
was
no
really
ice
cool.
cream. Well, I didn't
think
step
about-
outside.
I was like, I don't even care about the ice cream. I didn't know they were doing unique flavors. I would have
Yeah.
maybe bought some.
I was in the line for the bathroom during the entire intermission. So.
I was sitting inside. So.
My boyfriend was telling me that the men's line, just in general, is pretty hilarious. That he was like, yeah, we all went through there at like a fast trot. Just because they use the urinals and then like out.
I skipped everybody. I just went down the stairs. I'm like, I don't have time for this.
To what? Pee in the parking lot?
No, I mean, I saw that line going down. I'm gonna walk around. I walked around. I had my dog.
Oh, didn't use the bathroom. Yeah, the ladies' bathroom. I was in there from the beginning to the end
Yes.
and missed the random people singing, which is fine. It was okay.
Yeah,
I got
it's,
to,
I
like,
think it's probably
look down the hallway.
good that you missed it because it did make me feel very confused. But it's still good. It's a good way to open the second half, I guess.
To some point, I mean, you have a long show. If you cut that, if you cut the weird,
Magic
in living
break
color
dancing.
Yeah.
hyena
It was,
dancers.
yeah, they were like flyboys.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
I was
that's what
like,
it was.
What the hell is going on here right now?
Shirtless construction worker hyenas.
Got like high tech boots on and like
Yeah.
Jinkos. I'm like, where are we right now?
And the
Like,
whistles. Do not forget the
Yeah.
whistles.
I think I was just looking at like
They have
chests and
whistles,
boots.
and they were like boop 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 boop.
Right.
Boop, boop,
You almost want to re-edit "It's Raining Men." Like you almost want that song laying on top of
If
that
they
track.
had, it would have been awesome.
I am
Yeah.
very
So
curious.
Robbie comes out and sings "It's Raining"
Right,
Men
with
on
her
top
eyeballs.
of the elephant.
And the other ones just shoot out their eyeballs
Yeah,
too.
just all the eyeballs are on the floor. This show went weird. We took a U-turn.
Yeah, why not?
Like,
We were-
where
we
are
were
we?
spinning out into space.
And then Zazu's like having his weird existential freak out. I'm a
Right,
bird, but
right.
am I a person? I'm wearing a suit, but I have wings. What's happening? Who am I? It's just like, oh god. Yeah, he put like feathers on his hands.
Yeah,
and
I was like,
oh,
what
so-
are you the bird now?
Yeah, I'm like,
And
you
then
were
the
in a
bird
suit.
comes back on stage
But it's
while
not
you
him.
are like this. Are there
It wasn't
multiple
him.
birds?
What's happening?
Yeah. Somebody's holding his head or somebody.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I thought the kids did well.
Oh, the kids
But
did great.
I am sad that Jason Weaver, who did the singing voice for Simba in the movie, who was also young Michael Jackson in Jackson's American Dream, FYI. He was on that show, The Smart Guy. Anybody watch that?
No.
Okay, anywho, I was sad that when he was a child, after he sang like the song, that he was too old by the time the musical came out to be Simba on stage. Because I was like, oh, you would have killed it.
Oh, totally. I'm like, I'm here.
Yeah. So that's what I was comparing the kids to. They were fine, but I was just like, young
Yeah.
Michael Jackson could have been up
They
there.
have little squeaky kid voices.
Yeah.
A little bit compared to the movie where they basically are like
In a
adult
studio.
singers in a studio killing it.
Yeah.
Jason Weaver was a little boy. I don't know
I
about.
know,
I don't
but
know
they
who Nala
have
was.
like fully rounded voices.
Well, you have people like Kristen Bell too, who's if you've ever seen that YouTube video of her doing the
Frozen.
child, the adolescent, and then the adult is insane how talented she
Oh, I
is.
didn't know she sung.
She
all
did
of it.
all three parts, and I was like, holy shit.
I didn't know
I
that.
didn't know that.
And I watch it like at least once a month. I'm like, I just can't believe she's done
Well,
this.
yeah, you
I'm
have a
voice
child,
actor.
so
I
you're
do
forced to
voices,
watch.
so and I'm just like, man, how do you conjure a kid? And it's like, wow, it's the nose and everything, and like she hits it, and it's a great YouTube video of just
I'm
her
gonna watch that.
sitting in there and
My nodes. That's a reference to Pitch
Right.
Perfect.
just Disney does epic stuff. In fact, the Disney movies that fail, the Disney films that fail, or that the music wasn't epic. It's really what drives the film. If you do not have epic music, it does not. And that was the thing with Hunchback of Notre Dame, which I always had believed should have been a musical. It should have been a musical.
What's musical?
Huh?
You
That
mean on
Disney one?
stage?
On
Just-
stage.
Oh, sorry.
They
I've not
used to
seen
do
that.
it in, I believe MGM used to do a short mini version of it, and it was phenomenal.
I just think it would be difficult with the tall buildings and the looking down and people on top and below doing stuff at the same
Something
time.
real cool.
Oh, never mind.
No, I'm just saying, like, the
I'm not
way
thinking
that they
outside of the
progress
box.
things with, like, the Lion King stage
That's true.
photography. I
And they
think
have enough
could
money.
do some really cool
Right,
stuff.
and
with
I would use a lot of
Hunchback.
wiring. I mean, you can use different.
They can make the chandelier fall during the Phantom of the Opera. They can.
It really falls down?
They,
Well, I mean, they glide it down over
Yeah.
your head.
Does it like break and stuff?
no.
No.
Oh.
I don't know if somebody comes in and
AKA, you
sweeps.
don't die.
Well, no, I don't know. If it was made
Glass
like of
raining
sugar
down.
glass, like that sugar glass,
How
and
cool
they
would
just
that be
come.
if they just, like, dropped a bunch of sugar glass all over you and you got to,
It's
like,
over the
Ah.
audience, or is it over?
Yeah, it's over the
Oh, I
audience.
thought it was over the stage.
Oh,
It's where the
What are you
other.
talking
It's where
about?
the chandelier.
It is
like,
coming
I've
next
seen
year.
that
You
movie
need
the
to go
one
see it.
time. I don't know what's going on with that show.
You need to go to the show next year.
Some-
Just like go
okay.
buy a
Oh,
cheap
God,
seat
yeah.
I will.
and see it. It's a really fun show.
Okay, I will. I just.
It's
was
really
curious.
well put together. Is Past the Point of No Return is one of the best parts in that show.
Oh, you should have been on the Phantom episode. Last week's episode.
Literally last week.
It was last week's episode. Or last time I put out an episode, that's what it was.
Oh, Fan?
Yep.
It was
Yeah, I can talk
Wow, I
about
see you're a great listener of our podcast, Frankie.
I'm listening to
Number
all
one
this.
fan.
I need to start listening to these true crime ones, man. I'm not sleeping good at night.
Yeah, listen to our joyous voices singing to you.
Jesus.
Oh yeah. Talk about not sleeping at night. Listen to our Mulan sing along.
It was filled with friendship and love.
Right, but there were that was a movie that should have been really. Mulan is the last
Mulan had great music.
great music. It was epic music.
Was it not popular? I thought Mulan was super popular.
It was my favorite.
It
when
was
I
the
little.
last
It was,
film,
yeah.
last animation studio film
Why
in
not?
Florida ever done. It was the last thing drawn in Florida.
Oh. Oops. Who's
Um,
emailing me?
I like the way you say
Text
Florida.
message.
Oh.
well, that's what
Sorry,
MGM
Dad.
was supposed to be. It was supposed to be an animation studio, and they moved
Oh.
everything out to Burbank. So the last film they actually hand drew, was Mulan.
Fascinating.
Mulan was killer.
Yeah.
They're making a live action of that.
I'm so excited.
The director
They
said
better
it's
do
not
it well.
The
If
I
they
director-
do
haven't seen
After
Beauty
Beauty and the Beast
yet.
was
Beauty and the
fine.
Beast was good.
The director said
really
Mulan
wanna
is
see
not
it.
going to be a musical, so she got some backlash from that.
Wait, what? Pardon me?
Why are you
Yep,
doing this?
so
I mean,
there's that.
great epic
Well, then
adventure
never
tale,
mind.
but I really wanted to see the singing.
Yeah, then I'm not
They did it with
excited
Beauty and the
anymore.
Beast, so I was just like, I don't know why you can't.
Because they
Yes.
didn't do Cinderella as a musical, but they followed the plot
They had,
to
like,
the
little
T, and I
mice.
was like, whatever,
Yeah.
I don't really.
Cinderella's cool-ish, but I don't
I-
think like the
I want a
music in that is
musical.
as
Right. I think
amazing
Iconic.
as Beauty and the Beast is.
it's not, and it's not. It doesn't hold up. I mean,
And then-
Cinderella doesn't hold up. It doesn't.
It's
I
very
think-
It's a
its
very
age.
antiquated storyline.
Absolutely.
And
So
it's not
Snow
like
White.
there's lots of
Snow White doesn't hold
singing.
Yeah.
up. And most children don't even want to see those princesses. And
I liked it.
they
Beauty
are
and
all
the
about.
Beast, but
their-
maybe that's just me. That's the best.
Well, it's your generation too, right? Like,
Yeah.
my daughter is like all about Tinkerbell because they redid Tinkerbell.
Oh, they have those TV shows and those little
Right.
movies of Tinkerbell.
They actually have a really good film called Never Beast. It's a phenomenal film about death and
I've
awakening.
never heard of that.
It ends very sad. KT Tunhill did the music, and she sings some great.
Barely remember her. She had like
She
one
had that
hit
one
in
hit
the
wonder,
like
yeah.
early 2000s.
Yeah, well,
It's
she does a
just-
lot of music for Disney now. She writes a lot of the music
That's what I
for.
want.
She sings a beautiful song. I actually used it to cut the trip of my daughter. We went down there, so I filmed everything. And it's funny when you film your family in Disney events, like you're never in anything. It's
No,
like,
of course not.
I was just hired as a cameraman here. I just eat with the family at night, and it's like,
Yeah.
it was really
That's the crazy thing. If you're into photography at all, you just end up with
There's
no
no
photos
pictures
of
of you.
yourself.
Right,
And
always.
It's like I still want pictures of me doing stuff.
Yeah.
Can someone else like cameras
Selfie
too?
stick.
just that generic
Yeah.
photo of you with the camera. Like, everybody has that photo. It's like,
So I guess we can wrap
Rate
this
this.
thing all in
What
a.
should we rate this
Oh,
out of?
did you guys like the last thing I wanted to talk about was the stars scene with the moving face into the portrait?
I
Mufasa.
that was
they-
phenomenal.
I thought they could have done
It
it.
was
better.
creepy.
Two sides of the coin here.
You thought they could have done it better?
Yes.
I wanted his mouth to be moving when he was talking.
I did expect his mouth to be moving, but I didn't mind because I really liked all the trippy star swirls and the
Right.
moving stuff coming together. It had two tall citywides, and I was very pleased with everything.
Like, look at
point.
that movement.
Yeah.
I was like, well, you can just move his mouth. You can do it. Just do it.
Well, it's like they obviously chose not to. So
I
it's
know,
like,
that's
I
why I
wonder
didn't
if they
like.
thought it looked bad, like a bad.
They didn't think those
Marionette.
muscle-bound men in Timberlands dressed as hyenas looked bad. So you know, that's all. I didn't leave too much of an impression on me. I just wish they would have moved his mouth.
We need
That's it.
something for the ladies.
I thought
I
it was
guess.
really cool.
I suppose.
That
How did you
the
feel
star
about it?
scene, not the hyenas.
Yeah,
I
love
didn't.
it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was super.
Oh, and I wouldn't.
impressive. I felt like it had a lot more build up, and then when I saw the
Yeah.
face, I was like,
Huh.
okay, that's his face. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I was kind of wondering if they were gonna do
That's
they were
so
gonna do like a
funny.
human
That was
man's
really
face.
It's like impossible to please. Like, wow, you guys want the world, huh?
Whoa.
Spend them Disney dollars.
Just because I don't like it doesn't mean that
We
they're
enjoyed
impossible.
it. And it doesn't mean we have to like
It's
everything.
not-
But
It's not that I didn't like it. It
It's just
didn't,
like okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like talking down to the pond, and I wanted him to turn around and talk to his sky daddy.
Pop in the sky.
Had you seen it before? Had you seen Lion King before?
No.
For me, it was pretty impressive how they just came out swirling them. I'm like, what is this going to do? And they slowly built a face, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, I was waiting for the face. I was like, okay, I know the face is
Rafiki
gonna
was a
come.
really cool character too.
Yeah.
That chick did an amazing job.
She was
I
great.
thought the like comedic humor in general was a little unnecessary, but I don't hang out with kids, and I'm sure the kids really liked it. But I did chuckle when she did the like booty popping thing across the stage, like her monkey butt plate.
Yeah.
that she had.
I didn't chuckle. I was like, okay.
I didn't chuckle at any of the rest of it when she was just making random noises and being like difficult to work with. For
I thought she was
Simba.
speaking Swahili.
She seemed to not be making any sense. But
I
maybe
thought
she
she was-
doesn't speak that.
Yeah,
I thought the rest of the time when she was talking to the audience about his life
in Swahili.
seemed like she was making a storyline when she was in front of the tree.
And then she's like, "Do you understand?" And we're all like, "Haha, of course not."
What about the Midwesterners? Maybe
I didn't even recognize her out of costume.
Yeah, that was a lot
That was
of.
a
That's a lot on top of a person, and I think that was probably the best costume design overall. Most well thought out, best costume design I would say was Rafiki.
see a close up.
I really liked it because all the different pieces, like the butt plate, like thinking of stuff like that, and her, like the fingers, the like bamboo shoots on the fingers. And,
Yeah, it was. I mean, overall, if you want to do a rating, what is your rating scale you guys usually do?
we make it
We
a.
gotta pick one.
Let's rate this out. I'm going to rate it out of shirtless dancing hyena men. So out of 5 shirtless dancing hyena men, I'm gonna give this a solid 3.75. I thought it was above average.
So one of those men have a missing leg or something. It's like,
Yes. One of
they have
them
one
is
peg leg out there.
one of them has a
Just
shirt
in
on,
less
so
good
he's not
shape.
shirtless,
He's
but
like
he's still
less,
dancing.
less cut
Right.
than the other
less
hyena.
He's dad bod.
Yeah, exactly.
He had pizza before
Still
the show.
good.
Like,
Still good, just different. It's still good, just different. I think that's what I'd say. And the circle of life, the beginning elevated it 100%. So then I measured everything up against that. So that could have been some of the failing. I was like, I'm expecting a lot here. But I thought it was good. I thought take your kids to it. I'm not a parent, so take your kid to it, in my opinion. Not if they're too sensitive, but it's fine. I'd see it again.
I think your kid has to really have an appreciation for Lion King in order to sit through it because it is long. The kid next to me was out of control.
Oh, did you push him into the orchestra?
No, he just didn't have a seat. Like she didn't pay for his seat. Like she sat on his. I didn't know you could do that. Not that I would ever do that because
No, let's do some public shaming. How old was he?
he had to have been 4.
Oh, so he should have had his own seat.
Yeah, my daughter had her
It's
own seat,
tricky.
and she's the tiniest girl in the world.
Oh.
I miss her. Half the time I'm walking with her, and where the hell did you go? And oh, you're right there.
She's Thumbelina.
Yeah, she really is. She's tiny. But I don't know. I would give this show. There was things that I wanted epic. I go. I mean, we've mentioned these, right? Like Les Mis, Cats. I mean, you Rent. I mean, shit. The original cast of Rent, like half of them lost their voices at the end of the circuit.
Yeah.
Like that's how epic the music was, you know. So for me, that was the only thing that was really lacking. I didn't feel they did the songs as epic as they could have been. So I'm right there with you. I think I'm right around a 3.5.
What are you gonna rate it out of?
I'm gonna rate it out of Scar's enunciating words. Over enunciation.
3.75.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
It's a fair rating.
That's good. That's good. Tiffany.
Yeah, I agree. I'll give it 3.5
3.5.
crying lionesses.
Eyeballs on the floor.
With or without eyeballs.
Without their eyeballs. Just because this is a podcast about musicals and the music wasn't epic. The costume and the set design was absolutely phenomenal, and that plays into right. But as far as overall, just because the music was just kind of, it was good, but it was good. Yeah, 3.5.
Michelle.
Kill me with the. I gotta
Rate it out of Hakuna Matatas.
Yeah.
Rate it out of fart jokes.
Hakuna 4 stars on.
Oh gosh.
I would give it. I'm just right there with you guys, but you know, I was really impressed by the puppeteering and the costumes, so I'm gonna give it 4 Rafiki butt plates.
I thought you were gonna give it citywides. 4 citywides.
4 repeat butt plates.
4 Rafiki butt plates. You're right. I love the Lion King animated movie so much, from so much nostalgia time as a child. And the music in that is really, 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 really good.
Mm-hmm.
And on the stage, they had very good voices, but it just didn't like fill you with music
Yeah.
as some musicals do when you're watching them on stage. And I just like, you know what? I thought it was really cool they did it without scenery, but man, sometimes scenery helps. Like maybe
Helps
give
put you
it a
there.
little bit more like
Sure.
depth if you had some jungle they could run through or some other things.
Yeah.
But it
Right,
was
you
really
couldn't
cool
just
they
have a
did it
cast
without.
of 10 people standing in grass skirts the whole damn time, you know? Like, they needed a little bit more.
Could've
I mean, the
been fun.
water, when Timon goes down the water, that was kind of weak.
Oh
They
yeah,
could've
I
done that
forgot
with-
about that.
Yeah.
Not that scene.
I was
I knew there
expecting
was
way
another
more.
scene that I was like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, it doesn't make
I think they just
That
wanted to show that, you know, he
was
did
annoying.
that, and then they had the
And
little
then he-
puppet hanging from the tree. And
Yeah,
it
and
was
then he
like-
he fought with the alligator.
Yeah, I just think they
Probably
wanted to be like, look what we can do.
Yeah, the stampede scene was awesome. Cut the other version, aka Timon in the river.
But then you don't get Simba's, like, lapse of freezing up and stuff.
That's true. They used him to save
But he-
somebody, I guess.
Didn't need
Yeah,
that.
dude.
Maybe I'm a little like, what am I like stuck up on the canon of a Disney movie? But like, I don't think.
It's like that.
They
Like,
set
was
the
necessary.
standard, though. They do
did.
that for everything. They set these.
Did Lion King
high-
exist before the Disney movie? Like a lot of these actually had stories and like folklore that
Lion
they
King
made.
This
is
is-
based on Hamlet. It's a loose adaptation of Hamlet.
But a lot of movies are right. A lot of stories.
There is a.
Is there like
an
a Lion
African,
King?
There
Lion
is an
King
African story of Lion King, and there is also
story.
one of the creepiest. As we get into it, as you set up your next podcast here with you, The Little Mermaid, that is one of the creepiest stories.
Oh,
she
yeah.
turns into
Oh,
a sea
so
fowl.
yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert: she dies.
Yeah.
She did.
Because she couldn't.
Well,
just
she
stab
lives
the dude.
forever
As
as
Seafoam.
Seafoam.
As
And
all
then when
mermaids
she
do,
had her
apparently.
legs, it was like walking on hot coals, or what was it, like walking on
Broken
nails?
glass, I thought.
Wouldn't do it. Nope.
So all the time she's in excruciating pain. Excruciating.
Excruciating.
She's still being a perfect little lady trying to win
I
that
like
man.
how you went into the
Yeah,
last shit.
because
It's like
all she cares about is some guy she saw from a distance when she was. I think she's even younger than 16. She's like 13.
Have mercy. We'll
Or
save
younger.
it for the next one, I guess.
yeah, you should. Yeah, that's how you should kind of backward fill that bad boy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you of a story of Seafoam. Like,
You like
Seafoam who just
tragic
wanted to be
endings
loved.
for impulsive women.
Impulsive teenage
Stay in your place, ladies.
you need to have her on your podcast all the time.
Yeah, she's our #1 bestseller.
You're,
guest.
you're the best guester seller. What?
Best guester.
You are one of the guys that are shirtless on stage. Basically.
I am.
You're the one
I
blowing the
have-
whistle.
Michelle's
Just
the
in
best
case
part.
nobody knew, on the other side of this, I am a shirtless male hyena.
With
With the whistle.
Wearing
The
some
whistle
big
and
old
Timberland.
Timbs.
Whistle and Timberland.
Backwards cap. Frankie, do you want to plug your various projects? while you're here?
Absolutely. We have a podcast that's going to be starting soon called Burden of Proof.
When does it come out? I don't know when.
It comes out in, we have our first release dates in 3 weeks, and it'll be a series of 2 different dramatic podcasts. One will be dealing with Jack the Ripper, a St. Louis hometown boy.
That sounds super cool. He's told me about it. It's
Yeah.
super
So,
creepy and super cool.
it's not a new story. Scotland Yard listed Francis Tumblety as one of the possible Jack the Ripper suspects, and the other one is called 23, and that deals with the debunking of the 1949 Exorcist that happened here in St. Louis. So pretty thrilling, pretty chilling. We'll have you guys on.
Is that your
I don't know if I can do the Exorcist one.
Oh, I can.
I can't wait to hear it.
I
don't know if I can add to it, but I
I'm
love that
excited.
storyline.
We have some very exciting guests. On that one we've lined up. We have an actual Satanist that lives in town.
That's
so
fun.
that's interesting.
You should talk.
You
I
know
was
some
talking to
Satanists.
Don, the QA Don, the other day, and he was talking about The Exorcist in St. Louis.
Hey, Don, do you listen to this
Don.
podcast?
Yeah,
Don
they-
Peters.
No,
No.
Don Cake.
But yeah, the
Hey, Don.
buildings. Did you guys go to the buildings that are still standing in St. Louis?
Yeah.
And they like won't let you see a lot of the parts of them.
Well,
See, that's what creeps. Like, no, that stuff creeps me out.
The
And they
Alexia-
kept like all his furniture and stuff.
I can't.
The Alexian Brothers is good. And actually, the cross from the Alexian Brothers is in City Museum. In City Museum, actually, the haunted artifact is the cross. That they believe City Museum, a lot of weird things happen in City Museum. There's been a couple deaths. There's been, and they
Well,
carry
there's
that
been lots
cross.
of deaths in the City Museum. It's
Has
not,
it really?
not a safe place.
People go into this.
It's
Yeah.
not a safe
Kids have gone-
place.
I mean, it's like,
What
come
do you
on,
think
it's
it is? It's a
rebar.
concrete rebar playground
It's like,
that
do you know how many
people
kids
run
have
around
concussions
on.
and
Like,
nothing?
what
I
do you
never
think
This
took
is
my
gonna
sponsored by
happen?
the St. Louis Tourism Board. By the way, come
It's
visit.
a really cool place,
You could
but
die.
it's like literally like have a brain, people.
it's the truth.
It's
Everybody
Those
goes
holes
to City
under the
Museum.
ground. I'm not
Oh,
claustrophobic, and I crawled in those tunnels under the ground, and I was feeling
I had
like,
some,
when is it
some
over?
almost panic attacks.
Yeah,
in there,
it was-
and I do
Yeah.
not have those.
No,
I'm not
it's-
acceptable.
It's a
normally.
scary place.
No, that guy is he's dead now, but
Bob Kessley,
yeah.
tragic death or murder.
Is he a ghost?
Or a murder. His
Yeah,
wife believes
you
it's
could
murder.
well, they reopened it as a murder investigation,
Yeah.
so you could do a podcast on
Fascinating.
that. Once they
Yeah,
wrap
we
it up.
were really close. My friend lived in his house when he died.
Who was your friend?
Joshua Smith in the historic
Hey,
architecture.
Josh.
No, like I'm
Lived in his
Friends with
house.
Tony
rented
Rocca, who-
rented his house.
also. He
You've
didn't
seen
live
the
in
pool,
his house.
though.
He was his curator.
You seen the pool?
I
Shape
have
of a
not seen
coffin?
the pool because I was going. They had a huge party at his house before his death. He was aware of this. He was watching his house as a curator, and I was like, "Oh, I'm busy. I got my own plans. Sorry, I
That
can't come
is-
to this one." And my boyfriend's like, "Okay, well, I'm just gonna go hang out with my buddy Tony, and we're all gonna go to this and kayak in his pool." And I'm just like, "Motherfuckers."
Yeah,
Pardon
it is
my
one of the
language, you can
creepiest
cut all
like
of this,
homes I've ever been
obviously.
in. Like,
Jeez.
he
I
was
really wanna
obsessed
go to
with
this.
death. That guy, the pool shaped like a coffin and it's saltwater.
This sounds.
It's just I don't even want to go in a
in
damn thing. Like, I
progress.
would never swim in that. It's a saltwater pool, so it's a lot of work, a lot of maintenance. There's a lot of structures, a lot of death structures, death paintings.
got like multiple houses.
Yeah.
This pool he told me about was like multiple pools that you could like
Hop to
kayak from
waterfall.
one to the other. So they were doing their whitewater kayak.
Yeah.
And I was like, that sounds really cool. Now I have no opportunity to ever see these things in my real life.
You guys really want me to edit this now, don't you?
You really need to cut a lot of this out.
Probably
of your
not.
Except the plug. Keep it up.
Do you have a YouTube channel where you can see your videos of you not in them?
We're in the making. This weekend we're going to get a lot of stuff because we also have the film company, of course, Fourth City Films. We have a Facebook page there you can follow us. It's Fourth City Films, named after St. Louis when it was the fourth city. And that's where all our films come out of, including Tumble Tea will eventually be a documentary after the podcast. We're trying to get a lot of feelers for it right now. His stuff is actually at probate court, and anybody can go down there and see it and flip through his stuff. And the big thing about his case is there are 5 envelopes that he licked. So his DNA is within those documents. So if Scotland Yard wants to keep lying about, and I'm sorry, but they are
Call them out. Call
they
them
are
out.
belligerent fucking liars. They're saying that they have nothing from the Whitechapel cases. And I just don't believe that because Polly Nichols is the first murder victim. She's the first photographed serial murder victim of all time. And the fact that you don't keep her garments, you don't keep any of that stuff, I don't believe it. I believe it's $1 million industry over there with their tours. And like anything, if you solve the Ripper case, none of those tours are not significant anymore. Nobody cares anymore because it's closure. That's the one thing that Americans and as humans we cannot deal with is closure. Okay? It's the one thing that we don't have. And that's what our podcast is basically about. If you die and I get it, fine. If you're a missing person, if you're lost and you can't figure something out, the human mind is not programmed to.
Not gonna let it go.
Exactly, they will not let it go.
Huh.
So that's why it continues to be $1 million industry for Whitechapel and the tours in England. So if they solve that crime, that all goes away.
Fascinating.
We will call out Scotland Yard a bunch of times.
They can't.
In your face.
Bring us
What
it.
are they gonna do to us?
Well, one of the family members sold us. Yeah.
You gonna come over the ocean,
You want a
the
little
pond?
expedition? I don't think so.
You're right. Your arms are gonna
Freedom
get
of
tired.
speech.
Don't tread on me or whatever else. Mayflower.
Yeah, take that with your tea.
One of the scars of the victims actually was sold at auction.
The scarves?
She had a scarf.
Oh, I thought you said scar, like they cut it out of her body and
No.
sold it. That would be awful.
This
People are weird, though.
scarf she was wearing had blood on it. Still had blood and stuff on it. Excuse me. And that sold for $3.4 million.
People are creepy.
Yeah.
They love creepy collections, man.
Check out all of Frankie's creepy things he's up to. Get creeped out. That's why you can't sleep at night.
Exactly.
Yeah, no too much.
If you want any more information about Frankie, Michelle, Tiffany, me, if you want to talk to us, you can email us at tamftpodcast@gmail.com. We also have a Twitter and a Facebook. We're so lonely on the internet. Come talk to us. I don't use Tumblr anymore because the teens are on there and I hate Tumblr.
Can't be with the youths.
Yeah, the Utes. Ugh, I hate
Utes.
them. Yeah, them nasty Utes. Okay, bye.
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 Bye.